Back in June 2021, we learned on CORESafety TV that drones, or unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, cannot yet be flown safely in coal mines. That's because so far, no one has created an available and permissible platform that will work and will meet MSHA approval. Maybe you recall that I introduced you to these two gentlemen in Socorro, New Mexico. Dr. Pedram Roghanchi is an assistant professor of mineral engineering at the New Mexico Institute of Mining and Technology, and Dr. Mostafa Hassanalian is an associate professor of mechanical engineering at New Mexico Tech. They've been working together to develop a drone that will meet the necessary requirements to be flown in coal mines. Other major contributors to the project include David Wetz at the University of Texas at Arlington, Jane Lair at the University of New Mexico, and the Spencer Composites Corporation in Sacramento, California. Well, it's been over a year since we spoke, so I called them up this week to see how much progress they've made. They're going to tell us all about that right now.
Our main challenge currently is what we designed versus what MSHA mandates in the law for permissible equipment. We had several discussions with MSHA, and we came to the conclusion that what we need to do is we need to build an alternative design that meets the requirements of MSHA. However, it's not the same approach as MSHA is taking. So MSHA requires, for example, 1/4 inch steel for the drone. What we came up with, we teamed up with a composite company and we are building it out of composite. And what we are doing currently is we are running the test in order to make sure we meet the requirements of MSHA, and then we will submit our alternative design to MSHA for their considerations. We also focused on how we can remove the heat from the composite material.
The weight of the system is going to be the big challenge because permissibility adds weight to the different components. And adding weight means that we need to use powerful motors to be able to generate the required thrust as well as larger size propeller. So it's really important how to optimize the overall system to be able to make something which is flyable in the extreme condition like the coal mines. So we decided to have enclosed everything inside of the composite structure and just have the propeller outside of the motor. So it's also important that how we are connecting the propeller to the motor, and this is where that we came with two solutions. The first solution was using the magnetic coupler. And the second option, which have been focused, is a mechanical coupler, is that we have extended the shaft of the motors and they are connected to the propeller, and we are trying to seal that, and that's one of the tests that we're going to conduct to make sure that there is no any gas leakage into the body of the drone. Heat is the big challenges, and that's another thing that we have been looking at, how we can address heat.
This is the magnetic coupler. Basically, this composite is a composite that we are talking about. Everything inside this composite is in an enclosure. So the magnetic coupling is basically using magnetic force to rotate the propeller. The downside with the magnetic coupling design is that we cannot get 100% thrust from the motor. Our alternative design is mechanical coupler. In mechanical coupler, we basically have a propeller shaft and the propeller is connected. Again, this is the composite material and everything is enclosed. The downside with this design is this gap here, which is less than 0.05 millimeter, but there is a gap. So we are tackling two fronts at the same time. With magnetic coupling, we are figuring out how we can increase the thrust that is coming out of the drone. With mechanical coupling, we are figuring out how we can seal this area so that propeller shaft doesn't heat up. At the same time, There is no gap for the gas to escape. Everything has advanced. We have new materials that are being used in spacecrafts. The new composite materials are out there. So we knew the challenges in making our design acceptable to MSHA, but we learned more about the extent of the challenge working with MSHA, which, you know, for us is understandable. At the same time, as a researcher, is very challenging because it limits us and it limits our ability to make innovative solution and an alternative solution to our problem. We approached MSHA several times during last 1.5 years, and we are in contact with them continuously. We share our idea with them. We tell them what we are doing, and we get the feedbacks from them. A lot of things, like they told us right at the beginning, it's not going to work. A lot of things they told us, give it a try. And they were kind enough to provide us free consulting, and they told us, you know, instead of investing our funding on submitting a concept, we try it on our own, and then we will share the information and the results with them, and they give us their feedback. So back to your question, we are continuously in contact with MSHA. We are continuously in contact with the Alpha Foundation. And on top of that, we are connecting with NIOSH because they are working on permissible equipment, and they have several external contracts that are focusing on permissible drones. We work with them continuously as well.
As you heard, Pedram and Mostafa are excited about their progress, and they're about halfway through their approved grant. I'll touch base with them again next spring, and we'll see how things are going then. Now, it's time for us to take a quick look at a new video nugget. This is CORESafety's module number 9, Reinforcement and Recognition. Did you know that the most effective way to get the desired behavior from anyone is to reinforce the good things they're doing and to consistently recognize them in a positive way? Now that's because people are more effectively motivated by positive reinforcement than with negative consequences. All managers and leaders should conduct one-on-one interactions to build relationships and to provide that positive reinforcement. Now, the reinforcement can be formal, perhaps in the form of a reward, symbolic recognition, or public recognition. But the fact is, it's most often effective when leaders see people doing the right things and they comment on that in a positive way right then or soon after. A simple verbal or written thank you for doing what is right can go a long way toward improving a worker's attitude and rewarding his or her personal value. Something else, when positive reinforcement is genuine, it also reflects positively on that leader. Now, on the other hand, if you're a manager and you deliver any recognition in a negative way, or a delayed or uncertain way, then the worker is much less likely to be motivated to pursue the behavior you want. This doesn't mean that reprimands aren't important, though. If any rules or procedures are violated, then management must assess the situation and address it in an appropriate, consistent manner. Finally, here are some true tips to consider. Tip number 1, positive reinforcement helps create engaged workers who are aligned with your company's values and mission. Tip number 2, you should really limit the use of money as a reward for behavior. If you don't, you could develop some attitudes of unhealthy entitlements or expectations. And tip number 3, the big picture. We all want good safety and health performances in our companies, right? Well, recognizing and reinforcing good behaviors and actions will go a long way toward contributing to that. To learn more about module number 9 and about CORESafety, you should just get on the internet and visit us at CORESafety.org. And next month, we'll check out module number 10, Resources and Planning. In the meantime, please be sure to follow us on Facebook and on Twitter for more mine safety information. All right, that's it for now. I'll see you here again next month. On behalf of CORESafety and the National Mining Association, I'm Nelson Duffel. Please be safe out there, and thanks for watching. Special thanks to Dr. Pedram Roghanchi and Dr. Mostafa Hassanalian for updating us on their current work with drones in coal mines.
To share one of your safety stories, videos, or photos, email us at info@coresafetytv.org.